Teachers often like using Moodle to upload course content that students can access outside of class. So that could be information about what's going on in class on a given day, could be information about homework assignments, it could actually be the homework assignments themselves uploaded in file form. And if you wish to do this, then you would access resources. So let's take a look at block number 1 right here and see the resource offerings that will allow you to provide links, upload resources, create pages for information. If you wish to add a resource to a page, you simply pull the resource menu and you can see a number of different offerings, some of which make very easy sense and some of which may not. So let's talk about the 3 main offerings that I've loaded here onto block number 1. The first is a directory. A directory gives students access to any sort of file that you post on the website. That file could be a Word file, a regular document, it could be a PDF, it could be a PowerPoint presentation, it could be just about anything. And you upload that file and give them access through this directory. So let's talk about how that works. In administration, you can see files. If you click on files, this gives you access to file upload. You can see that I've created a directory called test directory 1, and I can do that by creating a directory or making a folder at any time. I can make a folder. Test directory 2. Created that folder just to organize myself. It's a regular file and folder structure, just as you would see through Explorer, Windows Explorer. So if I pull open test directory 1, you can see that I've uploaded some files. And these are just sample files that I've uploaded from some of my courses. Uploading a file is very easy. When I upload a file, I click on Upload File. I click on Choose File. And this will allow me to go through my file directory and find a file that I might like to upload. So let me find one that I'd like to upload, and let's see what sort of access I want. Pick a sample file that will seem to work. Go here. I'll upload that. Upload this file, and it's available. You can see the upload is very fast, and you have quite a bit of space on Moodle. I've never exhausted the space that I have on a Moodle site, and I upload quite a bit of content. So I have a few different files available. If you click on any link, you can see how it pops up looking, hopefully, like the file you uploaded. I use PDFs just so I can make sure that the file I'm uploading looks exactly like the file that I designed. But you can upload any kind of file format that you'd like, once again. So I've created these folders and I've uploaded these files. Oh, and what I just did there, I want to make sure you understand how to move around. Parent folder means that I go up a folder level. So I'm back up here. And I can, of course, delete these files as I wish. If I want to go back in test directory and say I want to delete that file, then I could delete it. I could move it to another folder. I can modify this as I wish. I'll delete test directory 2. Yes, delete it. Okay, it's gone. So those are all uploaded. Students don't yet have access to it until, going back to sample, you create a resource that is a display a directory resource. That means that you are showing and giving access to students that directory that you've just created. And I've done that through test directory. So my test directory, you can see, gives access to those folders. So now my students can click on this link and pull open that file. And of course I picked one that is pretty big. So they can now access this and they can print this as they wish or just look at it on their computer. The directory just gives access to those. And if you create different directories, you can create files that are accessible at some times but not at others. And it's pretty easy to use. Let me go back and show you how to do that. Remember that you can modify any of these by clicking on the little hand with the pen. So I click on the hand with a pen and I give a name I can give a description to it, and then it will ask me which directory I want. Now, I just deleted test directory 2, but had I not, you would have seen test directory 2. I select the one that I wish to display, and then it will display. Save and return to course, and the test directory, once I click on it, will access those files, and the students can access those files as they wish. Going back to student view to see what it looks like for the student, student would click on test directory, see those files, and be able to access any one that they wish to access. It's pretty easy and fairly powerful. Teachers like this ability to give their students course content through regular files. So the next way to give students course content through the resources is just a regular web page. You can create a new web page if you wish. Now, many people just like to upload files and distribute those files, but if you want to actually create a web page through HTML, you go to add a resource and compose a web page, or you can compose a text page also. Depends upon what you're more comfortable with, working with basic text or working with a web page. Take a look at mine. And this is a web page which is very similar to a text page. There's very little difference between the two, but you can see that it just has text on it, and I've created some links that are pretty helpful. Let's take a look at the modification settings. I've created a name. I can summarize it if I wish, and then my web page is designed in HTML. Now, if you're looking at all this code and you're thinking that I'm some sort of web building genius, I have created none of this code. I just created a web doc or a Microsoft Word document and encoded it, and the computer did the rest for me. And I'll tell you how to do that pretty simply. But this is very easy. I can create that content. I could type into this directly if I wish, and it would create that page. When this window command, this one is interesting, could be useful. You will ask, the computer is asking you whether you want to open this new page in the same window that you're looking at or a new window. And right now it's the same window. So when I open it, let me show you what that means. I open this and it replaces the Moodle page. So it doesn't create any sort of new window or new tab. If I modify that, and I make it a new window, when I open, you can see that it has opened a new tab within Chrome. So I can keep this separate from my Moodle page in this tab. I like to open new tabs. I like to open new windows, so I don't replace the content that I'm working with, but that is purely your own preference. The last of the resources is just creating a link. You'll often want to create links to different resources online that you might want your students to access. And if you see, this link that I've created just takes us to the Sylvania Schools main site. And that's pretty easy to create also through the update tools. So you just give it a name, you give it a summary, and then I just copy and paste the URL into the location. You can command the window once again, and there are a number of parameters that you may never access. But that's basically how you create that link. So creating directories, web pages, and links are fairly easy, and that's what the resources are all about. One last note. If you wish to create this web page or this text page and you don't know how to use HTML for any of these resources, and that includes this title right here. If you don't know how to use HTML to raise font size, to make something bold, to make something italicized, to create web links, then check out this test web page, because this content actually explains how to use Microsoft Word and a regular web browser to create HTML code, even though you may not know HTML code. So you can follow these instructions and that should help you out. Those are your basic resources for the Moodle page, and that should give you a wide variety of applications for your class.